Hello and welcome to the Intuitive Heart Healing Podcast. My name is Valerie McLaughlin. I'm your host for today's podcast. I created this podcast to help spread healing and love to all of you, to share the tools that have been shown to me, to channel information for you, to also share my story, because in sharing our story, it's healing. And in sharing the story, you don't know who you may impact in this world. And to be vulnerable, authentic, and honest with you as best to my abilities at the time that I'm going through whatever I'm going through. So today, we're going to talk a little bit about a post that I did about hate. Actually, it was actually about anger, but it had a lot to do with hate. So I guess that's tied together. I never really write down show notes and things like that. I usually just allow it to just channel through and speak from my heart and allow whatever to come through. And I recorded a podcast that I was going to put out to all of you. And in doing so, I realized that there's a lot of healing that is to happen. And I have to also re-listen to the podcast to make sure that the message that I wanted to deliver is actually being delivered to all of you. And I'm just not ready to listen to that podcast because I'm still working through some of the healing. So as soon as I go through the process and I'm able to listen to it and able to put out the product that I want to put out to all of you and to heal myself before I send it out to all of you, because it's really important, because once you all listen to it, there's a lot of energy that's involved into every episode and a lot of energy that comes back every time that you listen to the podcast. So I just want to make sure I'm also in the right space and for myself when this podcast goes out. So today we're going to be talking about anger and I guess hate, because that word just keeps coming up. And coming up, and they kind of go hand in hand, really. It's sort of love. So I put out this post the other day, and it said, "I'm angry. Is anybody else?" And I did it because I wanted to be truthful and honest with my feelings and to talk about anger, because it's really important to be open. It's really important to let people know what you're going through, because they may be going through it at the same time, and you may be able to give them insight, and it's healing. And there's nothing wrong with being angry. And sometimes I feel in the spiritual community, in the healing community, some of these things are not talked about enough because, I don't know, maybe they're taboo, or people always try to stay positive. And really, I am really positive, and I work on shifting my mindset. I share my stories with you. I tell you things that I do, share with you things that I do, and tips, and I follow what I say. But it's really important that you hear all of it, because we don't get through from A to Z like that. We don't get through A to Z without hitting roadblocks, without growing through things. That's all part of our journey. And anger is a real emotion. It is a human emotion. We came here as humans. We came to Earth as humans to help evolve Mother Earth, to help heal Mother Earth and to receive Mother Earth's healing, to walk here in love, but also to learn and grow and evolve as humans and feeling. As humans, we are one of the most species, beings, whatever you want to call us, that feel the most. We feel so much, and there are light beings that come here to experience Earth that are overloaded with all these feelings and don't know how to handle them. And I know, as a human that has been walking this earth for 47 years now, feeling my feelings, expressing my feelings, understanding my feelings has been a huge part of my journey. I suppressed my feelings for so much and tried to hide my feelings from people from so much that I caused a lot of physical discomfort within my being. And so now when I feel these and I work through these feelings, I really want to share them with you because it's important not just to my growth, but it's important to all your growth. And it's a little challenging right now in this world to not have a lot of feelings with things that are going on in this world. It is really challenging sometimes not to have complicated feelings, feelings that maybe you don't want to feel. And that's where this anger has come up. Anger has surfaced in me, and to be honest, there's been a borderline bubbling of anger within me for a while, and I have not really fully understand it. And I'm still honestly working through a lot of this anger that has come up to understand where it's coming from, because there is healing that has to happen. And I know that part of the healing is going back and healing a younger version of myself and experiences that I had as a child. And a lot of what is going on in this world has triggered this. And that's a lot of what the other episode's about. So we're going to table that and leave that there. But this anger has been surfacing. And I really know when the anger starts surfacing because I want to go out and hit baseballs. For those that don't know, you'll know me. I'm a huge baseball fan. I love to watch baseball. And so whenever I get the urge to want to go to a batting cage or get this feeling that I'm at a batting cage hitting balls, that's when I know that I really have experienced a lot of anger. And so this anger has been kind of surfacing. I've been working with it and feeling it and beginning to understand it. But it's really surfaced a lot lately with a lot that's going on. And I'm not going to go into all those things that are going on because I want to talk to you about some tools that I use and are continuing to use. And I used one today, actually used two today, to kind of start to understand the anger that has been surfacing. And so one of the things that I did today was do some journaling, which is really kind of challenging because I'm going through some wrist and writing things. But I knew it was important to reflect on this anger that is coming up. And I asked in my journaling, where is my anger coming from? I wanted to get a deeper understanding of where this anger is coming from. And a lot of the anger is coming from past experiences. A lot of this anger is coming from the fact that there is so much hate that is being spread in the name of love that it is really shaking my being. It's really hitting me in my heart, because one of the things that I know I am here to do and I am very passionate about is spreading love. And when this anger does come up, if we don't begin to heal and address where this is coming from, then we are trying to change things from this range and unhealed anger. And what I want to do is I want to begin to heal this anger and channel this rage into love to help make a bigger impact on Mother Earth, on the universe. But in order to do that, I need to start from, and we all need to start from, where is this anger coming from? So anger is, to me, a form of love. And I said this, it's a vibration of love. And a lot of times anger comes from love. Because if you've heard me in the past, I've always talked about everything is love. Everything is love. We all come from love. We all go back to love. And there's different vibrations of love that brings us to this divine unconditional love. And we tap into this divine unconditional love, we can go deeper and deeper and deeper and have this overwhelming feeling of love greater than we ever can imagine. And there's a difference between divine love and human love. And anger is a form of love. And hate is a form of love. And like with anything I say, take what resonates to you, and whatever doesn't resonate, leave. But I want you to listen. And I want you to listen with an open heart when I say that anger and hate come from love. Because we all come from where we are in that moment. So there is anger that comes from injustice, when we feel like we've been wronged, or somebody's trying to take something away from us. So when that person or people or whatever it is trying to do that, they're coming from their perspective of what love is. And when they go and they try to take something away from us, or things like that, we get angry because we don't want to lose what we have. And we get angry when we are not allowed to fully be who we are and express ourselves who we are. And then there's anger over situations. You could be angry about how somebody handled things. You can be angry about an accident. You can hate and dislike somebody. Well, hate and dislike is another thing. So you can hate something or someone because it's the opposite of what you feel love is. So there's always this direct correlation of love, hate, love, anger, love, fear, love, guilt, love, shame. And what we want to do, what we'd like to do, is get back to that higher vibration. But there's our experiences that we have gone through as we walk through this earth. And there are some experiences that we have brought in with us, or things that have been passed down from us, from our loved ones, from our ancestors that are within us, that we are to begin to heal so that we can release this anger and we can release this hate and we can really begin to learn what pure divine love is, so that we can walk this earth and spread love. So some of the questions that I ask myself, and I had proposed in this post to ask, is, where's my anger coming from? When do I notice the anger begin to surface? So maybe you don't know exactly where this anger is coming from. Maybe you don't know what's bubbling up inside you. But if you become aware of when it's surfacing, then you can begin to understand what's all behind it. What is the deeper meaning of this to me? Because it's not about everybody else. It's about me. When we're talking, this is about me. So I might be seeing anger because of something outside of me, because of what I'm seeing happening to others, that is a reflection to a part of me. So what is that part in me that's anger? What is causing this anger? And what is it that is for me to heal? So when you ask these questions, where is my anger coming from? What is causing the anger? And begin to notice when the anger surfaces. That's when you can start the healing process. And actually answering these questions actually starts the healing process. It starts you down a journey of unveiling your story. It's allowing you to go deeper into it, to understand it even more. And as this happens, you can reflect on it in a meditation. You can ask for support from ascended masters, from loved ones, from angels, from light beings to help you. You can put your prayers out there. You can express your gratitude for the anger. Thank you for showing me what I need to see. Thank you for showing me what I have been holding on to that I am finally ready to release. And then some other questions is, what can I do to help me release the anger I'm feeling? Because now you start to understand it. Now you have it. What can you do to release it? And in the process, maybe you have this buildup of anger and you're not even able to get to the first few questions, but you have this anger, and what can I do to help release this anger I'm feeling is also a question that you can ask before those other 3 questions are answered, because there are things that you can do to help you release the anger. And for all of us, it's different. There is not a one size fits all. You know, it's like when you go to the store and it says one size fits all, and you look at yourself and then you look at your 6'10" friend. Well, maybe not that tall, but you get the idea. And you go, okay, so how's this going to fit me and how's it going to fit my friend? We are 2 different beings. Our bodies are 2 different. There's no way this is a one size fits all. There's not even a one size fits most, because every person is different. We are all unique individuals. Our journeys are different. And one way you might deal with anger that's surfacing now, and one way you might deal with an anger that surfaces later, totally different, because the situation is totally different. So if you are being challenged of answering those first 3 questions, because there's so much anger and rage within you, that maybe the first question you start off is, what can I do to help me release this anger? And maybe it's putting loud music on and raging out. Maybe it's going to the batting cage and hit some balls. Maybe you take up boxing. They have those like destroying rooms where they have all the stuff and you can take like sledgehammers and stuff to all these. Maybe there's some type of aggression that you have to release within your physical body to help you release this anger. Or it could be something as, I need to sit in yoga. I need to find the peace within me to help me release the anger. I need to ride a bike. I need to take a long trip. I need to just be in quiet and still so that I can really hear the message. There's no wrong way. There's no right way. There might be ways that are better and have a better, more positive outcome, but there's no wrong way and there's no right way. And your anger and how you choose to release it is so different than maybe how I would choose to release it. And it doesn't make my way better than your way or you're better than my way. It just is, because we're just so unique individuals. And so that question of what can I do to release my anger? What can I do to release the anger I'm feeling can be asked before or after those questions, depending on where you are. And the other way is, how can I channel my anger for something positive? How can I transmute this anger that I'm feeling into love? And how can I go out and do something positive in this world? There's a lot of good. And I don't like to use those words, but we got to use those words in reflection of understanding this. Let's say there's a lot of positive that will come out of anger. And you can look at a lot of things that have been done to help society. A lot of organizations that were started because somebody got mad and angry about something, angry at how we're treating Mother Earth, and we have all these people, all these organizations, and this movement to help heal Mother Earth and to do better, and things like recycling, for whatever better or worse has come out, inventions, thought processes have changed. The way things are handled are changed. Events that comes out of it. Now, if we're sticking to talking about myself and my experiences and being part of a community and learning, in June we celebrate Pride. It's Pride Month, whatever. There's Pride parades. And the reason why we have these parades all started because so much anger had been built up from all this hate that when the cops showed up to this bar and there was drag queens, there was women dressed in men's clothing, there was men dancing with men and women dancing with women, people just trying to be themselves in a safe environment, which at the time was illegal. They had these laws, like you had to have a piece of clothing based on your gender. We're not getting it, but in that moment when they showed up, the people in the bar, the drag queens in the bar, turned around and said, "Enough is enough. We are not going to stand for this anymore." And they started a riot. Was it the best use of their anger at the time? Maybe. I wasn't there. I wasn't part of it. I know because of that, my life has been better. But they took that anger and they reacted. But from that, change began to happen. And they decided, instead of rioting, to start celebrating. And they decided to protest. And they decided to do other things because violence was not the answer. In the moment it was for them, but after it wasn't. And you can see these things throughout the Berlin Wall that came down. There's so many things that we could talk about where these movements and change. You can see all the things that have been happening with the young people around the world protesting and saying enough is enough. You can see what has happened in Iran with all the protests, with the women saying enough is enough, and men standing up for them, And unfortunately, so many lives have been lost in what is happening. But they're saying enough is enough. They want their voices to be heard. And they're protesting. They're not rioting. But the Iranian government is rioting against them. And it has turned into violence. Anger sparks change. Change outward into the universe, but also change within us. So anger within us also changes us and how we want to be and what we want to do. I'm going to read you part of a card from the Divine Feminine Oracle by Megan Wooderson. In the oracle, there is Skizmet, the Red Lady. And on there it says, I am pure strength. I honor my anger by giving voice to it. And that's what they are doing. That's what they did for the riots at Stonewall. That's what they did for the protests throughout the country and with Black Lives Matter. That's what they're doing in Iran. That's what environmentalists have been doing. People have been honoring their anger by giving a voice to it. And not saying that it always has the best outcome, but they're giving a voice to invoke change. But when we begin to heal that anger and we allow ourselves to come more from a place of love, that's when the real change can happen. Change always happens, but that's when the most impactful change can happen. Skizmet represents the sacred rage that keeps us protected and reminds the world of our pure strength of female power. Skizmet is the Egyptian warrior goddess depicted with the head of a lion and the body of a woman. The lion was considered the fierce hunter in Egypt, a sign of protection. The ancient Egypts held rituals at the end of war and at the beginning of each new year to tame the wrath of Skizmet. They would play music, drink beer, they would dye with pomegranate juice, and dress all of Skizmet's statues in red. It was believed that would lull the goddess into a stupor and end her destruction. Skizmet was a powerful guardian and a protector of the pharaoh. She was called on during times of war and considered to be the goddess of divine retribution. Holy rage, sacred anger, and positive aggression, the states of being, are crucial aspects of the divine feminine. It is the feminine power that ends war, that brings home missing children, that seeks justice for the earth and for those who can't defend themselves. The feminine power is within all of us, whether we are male, whether we are female, whether we are gender fluid, whether we are non-binary. We all have aspects of male and feminine energies within us. We've talked about this before. You can go back and listen to the podcast. It's that feminine energy within us that does that. Positive aggression, acting with love on behalf of what breaks our heart or enrages us, is what allows us to become agents of change to better our lives and the world around us. Skizmet wants us to come face to face with our true strength. Power doesn't come from passive aggressive behavior. We don't have to fear expressing our anger directly to an institution or a person who is acting unjustly. Skizmet wants us to see that anger and is an essential emotion. And Skizmet is the sacred call to move the anger from pure emotion into conscious action. She wants us to act with conviction and from love. She wants us to create the healthy boundaries we need so we aren't injured again and again, or so that we can free ourselves from a destructive pattern. It's time to end. We have a divine right to draw a sacred circle around us at all time. The protection we invoke for ourselves and others helps move us from feeling helpless to taking loving action. And that's exactly what I've been talking to. I haven't read that in a while. But that's exactly what I'm talking to you about is taking into loving action. To whatever this anger that you're feeling, however you're feeling, stay in integrity of yourself. Stay true to you. And use loving action to be your driving force. Come from the place of love to go forward and make these changes, to speak your truth, to settle the injustice that you are feeling or that have been felt against you. And you do this by beginning to heal yourself. You begin to heal and understand the anger. And so when the rage is coming, it's coming from a place of love, a place of hope, a place of making a difference and making an impact in a positive way for positive change. We're moving into this feminine power on Mother Earth. The energy of Mother Earth, this feminine energy, has been seeping in, and it's becoming stronger and stronger. And that is part of the reason why some of these upheavals are happening, because it's really saying, we want to make change. We want change. We want to make a difference. We want to have a better place here on earth for every single being. We want it to be better. And that's why there's so much change that's going on, and there's so much pushback with things, because we don't want to go backwards. We want to go forward as a society. We want to go forward as human beings. We want to go forward into the light and touch back into our divine self, to get in touch with our divine self, to fill this earth with love. So as you feel this anger, I want you to begin to heal it and move it forward from a place of love. And I want you to also listen here with an open heart with what I'm going to end with. And it's my belief and my story about what I believe Jesus came here to do. Because you hear a lot about Jesus, and I grew up Catholic. I went to CCD. I went to church a lot. I probably stopped going to church, I don't know, maybe 10, 15 years ago. Something like that, because there was still something I was always getting out of it. Whether I fully believed in everything that they were saying, I never fully believed in everything they were saying. I always questioned, and I've talked about that in the past. But I've always had this connection with Jesus. I feel that in one of my timelines, I have walked with Jesus. And I look to Jesus as a master, as somebody I can learn from, as somebody that is a healer who wants to spread healing and wants to spread love into this world. I look at him as an example for me to follow. And this is how I have always seen Jesus. He came here as a human to spread love in this world. He worked with people, and he opened his heart to people that were discarded by others. He went to places where sickness was, like leprosy, where people would not go. They treated these people as less than. And he went in there with love in his heart to spread love and healing and to show these people that they are not less than, that they are deserving. He taught us how to open our hearts. He taught us how to pray, to set intentions, to change our mindset. He knew that those that would be healed were those that are willing to open their heart up to the healing. He also knew that some of us came into this world with certain things that maybe it was a disease, blindness, that could not be cured, but it could be healed in a way where you had a better understanding and a better relationship with it. He did everything with love. He knew that there was abundance for everybody. And then he did this with people spreading hate towards him, people that wanted to hurt him. And he showed those people nothing but love. He sacrificed himself to show everybody love. And that even in death, love would prevail. Your spirit would live on. And his spirit has lived on. For good, bad, or indifferent. We each have our own experience and relationship with him. But my belief, he was a loving man. He took people under his wings, and he knew that he was human and he was divine. And he was out there teaching everybody that you are human and you are divine. And people, his apostles, some of them understood that. Mary Magdalene was one that understood that completely in her soul. And she shows us that somebody who, quote, unquote, didn't come from the divine, although we all know we all do, could also be divine and be human. And that what we do here does not judge the pure love in our spirit, in our soul, that makes us divine. Take that how you wish. Take whatever you feel you are connected to. Whatever you are not connected to, leave it away. Open your mind. Be curious. Go in and figure out what is right for you, what is not. But begin to understand this anger that might be within you. Begin to ask questions and be curious about it. Feel it. You're meant to feel it so that you can heal it. And allow yourself to begin to heal it so you can transfer that anger into love and have a positive impact and change in this world. We all start to do this with ourselves. We can make so much change in this world. And this change also takes some type of action. Whether that's supporting someone or something, whatever it is, you change within here, you express it outward, you take some action, and you make a difference in this world. I'm sending all my love to all of you, spreading as much love as I can. healing myself as much as I can to spread more love to all of you, because love is really what's going to make a difference in this world. Love will help evolve this world and bring more joy, happiness, and peace to each and every one of us. We are all important. We all have a purpose. We are all unique individuals. Love and accept us for who we are, just like Jesus did. Just like other people in my life that I have known have loved and accepted me. Love and accept people in your life. You are not here to change them. You are here to plant the seeds, spread love, and help them lift up and grow. And through that, if people make changes themselves, that's what we are here for, to inspire others. And we do that first by starting with us. An unhealed person cannot go out and heal the world. But a healed person who continues to heal can go out and heal the world. And I don't mean going out and being energy healers and all that, because we all do it differently. We heal through our food, we heal through our art, we heal through our buildings, and many different ways for us to be healers in this world. It's not a one-size-fits-all for any of this. So, sending all my love to all of you. Go out and spread some love in this world. Until next time, bye-bye for now.